scrolling through the log in my Facebook messages, and a year ago today almost, I sent you a message and I said, I just saw you on social media and I wish I would have known that you were doing that drive because I totally would have been part of it. And I said, let's get together. And you immediately responded, because you're never on social media, and you said, you know what, I'll get with you when you get back. And a year ago that happened. Here we are a year later, and we have a great partnership with many Anytime Fitnesses around the country and Drive for Men's Health. I'm super excited to announce these two amazing doctors to you guys, Dr. Sijo and Dr. Jamin. They're going to be driving 6,000 miles across country. We. You're coming with us. I know, I am.
Please come with us.
Yeah. You're going to be driving too. I am. I promise I'll drive slow. 6,000 miles, roughly 60 stops, promoting men's health. And I'm very, very, very honored to be a part of this, and grateful that we're kicking it off right here in Florida.
We really like to thank everyone for coming out here. I always tell people that sometimes it's not the how big the event is or how many people we have and stuff, but it's really just if we have a good idea, we have a good cause, and we're putting our effort into it, eventually it'll pay off. And I feel a real debt to Joe and Clay. Personally, we've been doing this drive for about 3 years. The whole idea was to try to get guys to take ownership, to go in and see the doctor and talk about things that they don't really like to talk about. And we're both, Dr. Brambad and I are urologists, and we specialize in the areas below the belt. And so a lot of times it's topics that people don't like to talk about. And especially for guys, they don't really want to come in and see doctors like us and doctors in general. And so how do we change that, and how do we promote that self-awareness and get guys to take ownership? And that's really the basic crux of this drive, is trying to get people interested and get them motivated.
How are you, Clay?
Great.
Your staff must be really afraid of you because you're like so far away. You guys can move up closer. I know. But before we begin, I think they're afraid of your haircut. Can you turn around? Can you get up and turn around? Look at his hair. It's our hashtag, drop your excuses. If you guys are watching online or here, make sure you hashtag all your pictures with drop your excuse. So what are men's excuses? So we did a survey through Orlando Health this year. We surveyed over 2,000 men across the country, and we realized most men across the country have the same excuse as us. And those top 3 excuses include: we don't have enough time, yet we have time for social media, watching TV, going out to movies, partying. The second excuse was that we're afraid of the truth, and when what may become of your visit to a doctor. The third is what me and Sidro are still afraid of with our doctors is our physical exam. So those are just some of the lame excuses that we had before we got fit ourselves, and now we found that most men across the country have the same problem. So what we're trying to do this year is get guys to drop their excuse and teach them ways that they no longer have to make excuses. So we're very privileged to have a patient here, actually have a member of Anytime Fitness here who dropped his excuse, and we're going to have him share his story with us right now.
Daniel, you want to come on up? Give Daniel.
So Daniel, part of the mission here is really to get guys to go and see the doctor and take better care of themselves. So I know you've got a very powerful story, and I've seen some of your pictures, and so if you wouldn't mind, if you could share your story with us and your personal journey, why did you do this, and how do you feel, and how did you get from point A to point B?
Well, it's pretty much growing up as the fat kid around and always being reminded you're a fat kid. Working for a company where they had an incentive to lose weight, but to get the measurement, you were reminded that you were either. I was just sick of it, and I had to make a change. Going to the doctor, I was still borderline diabetic, borderline high blood pressure, and didn't want to go on medication, didn't want to do anything. So I realized that the only thing I had to do was to lose the weight.
And how did you go about achieving this?
First step was I got membership to Anytime Fitness, got it, but then was still kind of discouraged from coming to the gym. So then I got the membership, didn't go for a while. Just felt like I didn't know what I was doing at the gym, didn't want to be embarrassed. Didn't want to just feel like I was at the gym and not knowing what I was doing. So finally decided to come in, got a trainer. Damien's my trainer. Worked with him, put on a meal plan, workout. Got in the habit of working out every day. Got to a point where I felt guilty for not coming to the gym every day. So I just kept working out, working with Damien, just eating right. That's pretty much the eating part, working in a restaurant where you're surrounded by so much fried food, junk food and stuff, that it got hard. So just trying to figure out, what to eat properly, when to eat, such stuff like that.
And was there any other motivation or primarily frustration at work and stuff, or anything else that kind of drove you to doing this? Or?
Just not having energy to do anything, and just feeling lazy all the time. I just felt like I needed to be more active.
And this is supposed to be kind of informal, and so if anyone has any questions, feel free to jump in. And is Damien, why don't you come up here too? And so Damien, why don't you tell us your perspective? Was he a good client? Was he showing up on time?
Yeah, Daniel was awesome. We started off with a good base of flexibility, a good kind of easy nutrition plan to start off with. And he just stuck with it. Like he didn't give up, like he wasn't discouraged. Like if we had bad measurements one month, like he just kind of kept it going.
And Damien, have you gone in to see your doctor, or were you seeing a physician during all of this, or has your blood work changed or anything like that, or?
Like pretty much everything is normal now.
And I think we have Dr. Adam Langley here as well from Premier Med. And Adam, you can come up too if you'd like. We wanted this to be kind of very informative and more casual, so that we can kind of encourage discussion. And so, in terms of, from your standpoint, what do you think inhibited you from doing this before? Or what do you think the obstacles to guys taking care of themselves are?
I think the whole excuse of not having time. I worked in the restaurant industry where it's long shifts, and I just felt like I always had to be at work.
And then Adam, as a physician, I'm sure you see this a lot. What do you think some of the challenges are in terms of how we can get patients to show up, or come in and do a better job of taking care of themselves? What do you think some of the challenges are?
I think a lot of challenges people have is finding something fun that they keep doing and trying to force themselves to do a certain sport or activity that's really not fitting with their personality. Because one of the first things we need to do is develop a habit, and if we don't enjoy it, we're not going to do it.
And do you think on the medical side of things, did you like your physician, or how was your interaction with your physician? Did you feel like on the medical side of things we weren't really doing what we could to encourage you or help you out?
I think when I got the newer doctor, when I first came here, I didn't know anything. I think finding the right doctor was the first step. And I with my doctor, I have a trust right now where I feel comfortable talking to him. And we have appointments, and he feels like he cares, and I think that's the easiest part.
And I think that's one thing that we hear over and over is that a lot of guys, I think especially their significant others and partners play a big role, because sometimes as guys we just tend to shy away and slack off on what we should be doing, and it helps to hear that reinforcement and get that support from family and loved ones around us, and I think that helps kind of motivate. The other issue is our style of medicine, the way medicine is structured right now. It is a bit awkward, there are clinics out there where you go in and it feels like you're just like a number, and I think it's kind of the story of life, right? We all just want to be heard and felt like someone's actually listening to your concerns, but I think fitness is one avenue that really helps amplify that, because it is very personal. You're able to take yourself and put you through these measures and get some measurable outcomes, and there's a real definable end goal, and so I think it really helps from that standpoint. But Damien, I'm sure you've come across many different types of clients and stuff, and how do you keep people interested, or what do you think helps to motivate them, or what are some tips and tricks that you have?
I guess one of the biggest things is always showing them that they're having progress, and introducing new challenges that can be overcome short term, and then they know that they have a long term goal as well. But it's changing up the workouts constantly, making things always different, always kind of like, all right, what are we doing today? You know, trying to keep things exciting. You know, it's really the biggest thing for, I feel like, success long term anyway, because every time Daniel comes in, it's like, all right, we're doing this today, this is our goal today. You know, just remember, we got measurements in 2 weeks, you know, step your game up kind of thing, so.
Danny, do you mind telling us what was your format like? Like how often do you come to the gym, and how did you start out that way, or did you progressively increase as time went on?
I think it went probably like once or twice a day, and then progressed to pretty much every day.
Oh, once or twice a day, wow.
Yeah. Or like kind of once, twice a week.
Oh, week, yes.
And then it progressed as, you know, I felt like I needed to go more. It gradually increased to pretty much almost every day.
Yeah, I mean, I'll see him check in to Facebook, like, all right, long day at work, still got to put it in, you know, so yeah, all the time with him, so that's awesome.
Adam, when you come across patients, like what do you use to kind of motivate them, or any tips and tricks on your end in terms of how we can take better care of ourselves?
One of the first things I ask them is, what do you care about most in life? Finding their values really helps a lot, because then that gives a clue as to what can motivate them. If they care about something greater than themselves that they can identify, that can be part of the reason as to why they make the change they make.
And this really is a personal struggle for each and every one of us. I'm a member here too as well, and these last 3 years, we would do these great talks, and we would do most events at hospitals, and then head straight to a fast food joint and enjoy and celebrate, and then go on to the next stop. And so, when you look at our photos from last year, we weren't exactly the representations of healthy living, and so this year we thought we should probably practice what we preach, and have really taken ownership of this. And both Jamin and I have lost almost like 90 pounds over the last since November. There's nothing like a little healthy competition. He's a great motivator, because when I see him losing a pound, I'm like, shit, I gotta lose too.
So what you guys don't know is Adam is actually Sigil's doctor.
He's my doctor.
So can you tell us what some of his lame excuses were to not come? And Joe, can you come up here, because we want to hear, because Joe is like a celebrity on Sigil's Facebook.
So when you see my postings, you'll see Clay Harris, but you see Joe's face.
Yeah, and then we
won't let me tag him.
We see Joe, and then we see Sigil's 10-pound dumbbell. So just kidding. That was when you started. But what were some of his lame excuses, and what are some of the excuses that you've heard? What is the funniest stuff that you've heard? And then we'll share some of the stuff that we've heard. And if anybody in the audience has heard any other lame excuses, please let us know as well. Go ahead, man.
I'd say his initial excuses are very typical. He said, well, I'm pretty busy. I have very little time to really do anything other than go
But then
to
you
work.
see him posting on Facebook 10 times a day. So.
Facebook is the priority for me too. I got to stay on that. That was the top thing that he said. That's common for a lot of people though. Some of the funniest things I've heard, I guess, is just, I don't know if it's funny or it's just they think they have to go to the gym always, and that doesn't have to be the case for everybody. Sometimes it's stand-up paddleboarding. Sometimes it's going outside for a run. Sometimes it's going to the gym and interacting with more people, or a group class. And other excuses can run the gambit, really. Usually it's time, though, I'd say.
So time-wise, so let me ask you guys a question. So I'm gonna throw some numbers out, and by show of hands, you guys tell me, the average American watches how many hours of TV a day? So we're gonna start off with 1 hour, 1, 3, 5, and 8. So 1 hour, average American? No one? 3 hours, average American? 5 hours? Man, you guys watch a lot of TV. What about 8 hours? What about 8 hours? So the average American watches 3 hours of TV a day. The average American checks Facebook, turns Facebook on 17 times a day. So when people tell us that we don't have enough time, we have time to watch TV, we have time for social media, we have time for emails, but we don't have 150 minutes a week. That's all we're asking for. You know, the guidelines of American Heart Association, 150 minutes of moderate to moderate exercise a week. That's nothing when you think about the time it takes your hair, shower, all those things. But then if we really think about it, we can easily make time for that exercise. And as you mentioned, it's not just going to the gym. You can do other strenuous exercise. You can go running outside. You can go, I know you like paddleboarding. There's other things that males and females can do together at home to get their heart rate going. So there's definitely ways to improve your activity. So that number one excuse that we've heard all of us say, time, is I don't think a good excuse.
I just wanted to take a moment to really thank Joe. I mean, Joe is really, I owe him a lot of credit. I mean, he's helped me lose about 50 pounds, since November, and so, and he tolerates my lateness and shouttiness. And, so Joe, was I a good client or pretty bad?
No, a little congratulations, because 50 pounds, that's pretty incredible. But so as a trainer, we meet a lot of different people with a lot of different goals, and I think Dane would probably attest, we try to get people motivated, get you going here first. And when I first met Dr. Pete, he said, hey, this is what I'm doing, this is my goal, here's what I want to do. And he works 50, 60 hours a week, he's busy, and he basically, I told him one thing, that being committed was way more important than being motivated. Motivation only happens the first week at the gym. After that, it's all about commitment, and it's just about showing up, digging in each day. The nutrition, right on target, followed through. Gave him homework assignments, did them on his own here, so we give him an A+, 4.0 right here. So 50 pounds later, that's pretty huge right there.
Thank you guys, and the whole idea is, hopefully we can motivate more guys out there to, take ownership. And it's so hard. And when I think about it, I'm 42 years old. I've been fluffy all my life, and it's amazing because my kids come to me and they say, Dad, you've got bumps and like you're bumpy, like they've never felt that before. And it's amazing because I can see that it kind of inspires them too. And today they were arguing about, they were really upset that they couldn't use any of the gym equipment. And so they're like, how old do I have to be before I can go to the gym? But the idea is just, if we can get people thinking about that earlier, it is difficult because when we think about it, I don't really understand why it took me 42 years before all of a sudden something clicked and you feel like, taking control of your life a little bit more. But I think it comes back down to our excuses. And hopefully, if there's anything you can take away today, is just remember, drop your excuse. There's always two paths in life, right? The easy one and the harder one, but the benefits are a lot better. And so I'm hoping that we can continue this partnership, we can continue to inspire people as we go along, and we'd like to open it up. And we would like to invite the trainers from Anytime Fitness to come up to any other trainers out there.
Both there.
Okay, no, just want to make sure we included everybody.
So the second excuse, I want to ask Adam this. A third excuse is the exam. So you have to ask a lot of guys to drop their drawers and do that sensitive exam. So how do you get them?
I took him right off. Don't worry.
Huh?
I took him right off. Just kidding.
Hope you manscaped. But what are some of the excuses that you hear? Because we get pitched all the time, say, oh, I'm not going to do the prostate exam, or I don't want you to examine my testicles. And I know it's a sensitive topic that some people might be cringing, but this is important because we actually have a patient featured during the whole drive, that young, beautiful, great-looking guy, fireman here in Orange County, testicular cancer, ignored his health. He looks great, but internally he had a cancer, and it could have been found almost a year earlier if he had just come to see the doctor. So how do you get guys to realize the importance of that quick exam?
Well, a lot of it is educating them about how to detect these cancers and problems. And I think once they realize that, look, it's just learning the right way to check for things, let me show you how to do that here, and then we'll just move forward from this point on. I think that helps a lot.
So Adam's going to show everyone today how to check their testicles once a month. I'm just kidding, guys.
No, but it is sad. Recently, I don't know if you guys noticed that there was an article on a gentleman whose testicular mass was identified by a TSA agent. So when he was going through security, and so it is so ironic, right? I mean, so this guy had lived his life, had a TSA officer pat him down. That's when he felt something odd. And so it is kind of sad in that we probably could have picked that up a lot sooner and stuff, and if we just kind of taken better care of ourselves. And so, you know, just in terms of a show of hands, who's seen their primary care doctor this year?
Who hasn't?
Who hasn't? I'm due. But yeah, it really is tough, and you know, I know as things get busy, you know, we tend to deprioritize, you know, working out and eating healthy, but such simple little things and 2 little changes can make such a dramatic difference.
So I think at this point we're going to do some fitness education. So I think Joe's going to show us. So when we all work out, one of the things we forget is stretching. And a lot of people don't stretch, and what they don't realize is you can enhance your workout by almost 30% if you stretch appropriately before and afterwards. So you can actually work out less and get more out of it if you're able to flex the muscles like you should. So, you know, we would love to hear your thoughts, and I know Sidro has volunteered to show you some of the stretches firsthand here in live public. So
Actually, 1-arm push-ups coming up here.
Oh.
But yeah, so this is just real quick, real easy. When it comes to fitness, again, a lot of times we think gym, we have to do a bunch of crazy stuff. But how about just getting going, just to feel a little better, just to feel mobile and just feel like you're in tune. Just a couple quick things. We can do this at home, and it's so simple and easy. I'm just going to show you almost a little yoga move here. But actually, just by show of hands, anybody ever have a stiff back, low back issue? Anybody here? Okay, a few people right there. Very common. So what can we do to perhaps, you know, just trying to help that out? Let's just say you wake up in the morning, you're a little stiff, or you're about ready to go take a jog or something like that. I'm going to show you something so simple right here. You're on the floor, you're in an all-4 position. Abs stay tight. There you go, real quick. Hips up, head underneath, and take your time right there. Hold for 20 or 30 seconds. Just take a little breather right there. You can deepen up the stretch. You're coming right back into it right there. That's your calves, your hamstrings, your low back, your upper back right there. How simple is that? You do just a couple of those. Just getting the body going, getting the mobility going right there. That'd be a one that would just can help out anybody before you're lifting, running, exercising, or even just to get your day started.
And Joe, in terms of like starting out a workout regimen and stuff, like how would you recommend people start going about it, and you know, what's your usual protocol when you get somebody who's just all of a sudden interested in taking care of themselves, and how do you start them off?
Great question. So I think oftentimes, a lot of times when we get going, we want to exercise. Maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago, we were in good shape, and now we'll get someone in that says, hey, you know, I was in great shape 15 years ago. The mentality says I can still do that, but the body's going to say otherwise. So as a very good precaution, always just start off slow and controlled. Take your time. There's no hurry to this. Our goal is to make this a lifelong commitment and process. So if the first month's a little slow, guess what? That next month's going to get a little better for you. But my best advice would be like, just be smart. Come in here. We're not 15. We're not 20. We're not, you know, it just depends on what your age is. But just be smart about it. Focus on your mobility. And hopefully, as you get going, you progress. If your goal is to get strong, or your goal is to get big, or your goal is to lose weight, it'll get there. It just takes time. So just be patient and persistent and committed. Those are the 3 keys right there.
And one thing I want to, if you guys are on MyFitnessPal, so apps are an important tool that you can use. So if we're going on Facebook 17 times a day, maybe half those times we can go and log everything that we're eating. So we often forget that diet is 80% of getting healthy. So Sidro, I've been tracking him. This guy like has been to a strict like 1,800 calorie diet, and then sometimes he'll go eat an Indian buffet and hit like 2,500. But you can't forget what you're eating, because just like in your car, you use premium gas, and like if your car is very expensive and you're getting, you know, taking care of it in the best way possible by putting the best thing into it, best thing in your engine, best thing, you know, your body's the same way. And we often forget that you can work out all you want, but if you're, you know, going to a local fast food restaurant, eating processed food, salty foods, you're never going to lose that gut. You're never going to get to your fitness goals. So really, your fitness regimen starts at home and in your kitchen. Because the more cleaner you eat, the more fresh foods you eat, the healthier you eat, you're gonna get the results a lot faster. So we would have never gotten here just working out. A lot of it, and majority of it, is actually starts at home in the kitchen, in what you're eating.
And I want to make sure, Damien, you know, that you get a word in any pearls of advice in terms of nutrition or workouts or anything in terms of what's helped you get to where you are, and what you think would be best for the average guy out there.
First, starting off, like I agree with Joe 100%. With consistency is the first thing. Nutrition, you're not going to get anywhere without a solid base of nutrition. That's where we start with gaming as well. So nutrition and flexibility is only the good baseline to start before, you introduce any resistance training or anything along those lines.
And Daniel, did you have a nutritionist, or how did you go about setting up your nutritional goals, or did you use any apps or anything?
It was pretty much with Damien. He pretty much gave me like how much calories to eat, how much protein, and what to avoid.
Mainly what to avoid. Stay away from these types of things. Don't ever put those in your body.
No Napoleon desserts and stuff.
Yeah, that's not there.
In terms of, we wanted to make sure, anyone have any questions, any issues they want to bring up at all? We wanted to have this as informal and meaningful as possible. But again, I think the key, the link we found between health and fitness and working out, really is key. I mean, because it really does help motivate you in terms of maintaining that nutrition and staying on your goals and staying on target. So again, I want to really thank you guys for coming out here, and really appreciate your support. And any final thoughts, Jamin? Or
So we want to thank our sponsors. We want to thank, of course, Anytime Fitness for hosting us for the next 10 days at every single city we go to. And then we want to thank our global sponsor, Orlando Health and South Lake Hospital as well, for letting us take off for 10 days and supporting us tremendously. And we have our entire crew, so if the crew could just quickly raise your hands, the ones that are wearing deodorant.
You can identify them by the sharp red shoes.
We want to thank all of
Clay, get your shoes on.
I want to thank each and every one of our crew as well, so please give them a round of applause. But we have several other sponsors that you guys can go on our website and take a look. But at this point in time, what we're going to ask you guys to do is, if you guys have any questions, you guys can come and ask any of us here. We're going to clear these chairs, and you guys can come up and take a picture in front of the sign, and then Fred's going to take them and put them up on our social media. You can grab them and tag them from there. But if there are no questions, we want to end by saying a big thank you to everyone.
Absolutely. And then we have a special treat today. Patrick Gibson, there's a up and rising country star, is going to do a little performance as well. And so what we're thinking is, why don't we break for a minute or two, have everyone come up, take some pictures, and then please follow us online, driveformenshealth.com. Use our hashtag, drop your excuse, and let's keep this movement moving. And I hope that every year this will just keep getting bigger and bigger. And most important thing is hopefully we can impact some guys to really make a change. So feel free, guys, to come up, and we'll take a few photos, and then Patrick's going to give us a great little closing show. Thank you so much, everyone.
You guys want a picture? Come on up.
Can we get a picture together?
Yeah. Oh, okay. I just tagged her on Facebook. I'm in the entertainment business with so I know her from those networks. It was cool. Small world. Can we get you guys some more just a little bit more for you?
Open up the champagne. It's my house. Come on, turn it up. Hear a knock on the door and the night begins. Come with John, let the boys with the come.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh dude, where's our you guys want to come up and get
Adrian.
We want to hear happy family. Let's tippy toe this way just a little bit. Tippy toe this way, okay? Tippy toe this way, and then tippy toe this way. And then hop on one side. You guys rock. All right, nice smile. That's great. Beautiful. A couple more here. And you guys have cards, right?
Yes.
All right. Make sure to go on Facebook and get a picture. Tag yourself.
Okay.
And you can use it. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. Guess what?
Anybody else want pictures?
I could take pictures over here now.
Y'all guys give it up for these doctors doing their thing up in here. Make sure us men stay healthy. I'm only 33 years old and I've colonoscopy, I've had everything. Everything that you get when you're 40 and 50, catch it right here. Somebody make some noise out there. Y'all having a good time today? Never played in the band, never stayed in one place long. Mama was broke, she never had nothing but man, her love was strong. Granny always told me, believe in myself and be proud of my last name. The way your folks are living is only temporary, and things don't stay the same. There goes the power. Down on love. Take a kiss on love. Give it your last name. There's one guarantee things are gonna change. Sing don't stay the same. Daddy gave me his old guitar, but don't play that thing more. Mama bought a house to live with enough working at the corner store. When Daddy passed on, all my friends still live, so you just can't keep it down. Here I am, Daddy gives that name, torn from town to town, gotta live in town. Laugh it up, better call on Jesus, when you're down on love. Take a chance on love, give it your last name. There's a one guarantee things are gonna change. Sing don't stay the same. We live, we cry, we laugh, we cry. Some of us just don't know why. But we pay, still we play. Daddy like to drink, your mom's like to pray. She still the same. Sing just don't change. That same don't stay the same. Gotta live it down, laugh it up, better call on Jesus, and on love. Take a chance on love, give it your last name. This one guarantee things are gonna change. Same don't stay, same it don't stay. Same don't stay. Thank y'all so much for having us out here. Y'all stay healthy. DriveForMen'sHealth.com. Yeah.
Open up the champagne. It's my house, come on, turn it up. Hear a knock on the door and the night begins. Cause we've done this before, so you come on in.